Changed the format, didn't he? Changed the team. Absolutely fantastic.
Welcome to RedArmy.tv. 0-0 against Leicester. We'll chew the cud over that and Manchester United. But to the guests. Naughty Norman from Fireman Sam. That's what I've been told, mate. But it's not his real name. It's Luke Hughes. Luke from Priestfields. Welcome. Big Boro fan.
Yep.
And the 12th man represented, John Donovan. John, welcome back.
Okay, thanks, Dave.
Yep, you brought beers last time. We've sorted beers out this time. Okay, mate.
Nice.
Next time it's your shout. Right, let's get straight into it. John, point gained or 2 points lost?
2 points lost, really. I mean, I wanted the win. I thought we needed the win. But the way the other results panned out, I was quite happy at the end by seeing other results that we got a point. It's easy to say, you know, we should be winning our home games. I know it's not the Leicester team of last season, but they're still a very good team. I know Vardy was missing, but they're still a very good team, and they're no pushovers. They're experienced. They've got quality players. We couldn't break them down, unfortunately, but in the end, happy with a point.
Luke, where do you stand on that?
The same. 2 points lost, but I thought we dominated. We've done that twice now and lost 2 points in both games at the King Power 2.
Kranga came out beforehand, didn't he? And he said it's a must-win game, but after I'm happy with the performance. Where do you stand on that? Is it performance good enough to keep you satisfied?
I don't know, really.
Yes.
I think the referee spoiled it a bit too.
You reckon we should have had a pen?
Yeah, I think we should have, yeah.
Yeah, well, ifs and buts and maybes. I mean, we didn't get it, did we, in the end? I'd like to have seen, John, us get out there and have a go at them and grab them by the throat from early doors. Am I being a bit naive to Premier League football here?
No game's easy. No game's easy. I mean, we are 7 years behind the majority of Premier League teams. You know, that they've got Premier League experience, and especially a Leicester team that's had a fantastic season last season. In the last 16 of the Champions League, we found them difficult to break down. Ramirez had an off day. We struggled to get through them. It was frustrating.
But Burnley have a go. Burnley, when they're at home, they really put teams under pressure.
Burnley resort to the direct football at a certain point in the game. I don't know whether we could possibly do that, but if we do that, we'd need to get our midfielders close to Negredo. I think there's too big a gap at the moment. We've played Leicester twice and got only 2 points. It should have been more. I mean, it's frustrating and it's disappointing, but we'll get there. We will get there.
Are you as confident? That will be all right?
Yeah, I think we'll still.
Yeah. How close is it going to be? Or is it going to be fairly easy as far as points difference between the bottom three and ourselves?
It'll be close, but we've got 3 worse teams than us in that league.
I suppose
maybe 4.
That's the saving grace, isn't it? You've got Hull, you've got Swansea, you've got the likes of Sunderland, West Ham, Palace, all down there struggling as well. Is that going to be our saving grace?
Could be, yeah, but we don't concede goals, so that could be something else too.
What's your thoughts on Traore's performance against Leicester?
Frustrating.
Yeah.
He can beat people, but he just can't cross a ball. And like, he doesn't know what he's doing after he gets past like 3 or 4 people, like panics on the ball.
John, you saw the Paddy Power comment. It was along the lines of Traore's got the ability to make you think he's absolutely brilliant, but also really crap in the same move. Fair or unfair?
It's probably fair. We've seen him sort of mug, very good opposition, you know, Arsenal, Man United, that run they had early doors, Man United, and he got right through to the edge of the box, centre of the goal, and he seemed to panic, didn't know what to do, and he sort of like sliced the ball sort of poorly and gently wide, you know. If he'd have maybe looked up for a second, or if he had that ability just to compose himself, play the ball left or right, there was men waiting, who knows the outcome. That's the frustrating part about him. He can absolutely tear teams apart, but unfortunately at the moment there's no end product. I just hope we can coach it into him, you know, to take a look around, take a second to look around. If he's surrounded by three men, he doesn't have to beat them all every time. You know, if he can play the ball through them onto an on-running midfielder or whoever, or an overlapping full-back, then, you know, we just have to give him the right coaching to be able to make the right decisions, which he's not doing at the moment, but his pace is unbelievable.
Electrifying, absolutely. He would give Linford Christie a run for his money. The fact that Linford Christie's probably retired quite some time ago might help. But on the positive side, Fabio moved across the right-hand side. What did you make of his performance?
Very good. He's good on the right side, yeah. I think him and Traore might work wonders though down that right side. Because he can cross the ball and he won't have to tuck onto his right foot anymore.
It looked pretty handy, didn't it? Having George left, Fabio right-hand side, both willing to go forward.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Barragan to get injured, but it seemed to work because Fabio can work on both flanks comfortably, as he's shown. And we were a threat on the left and on the right. So hopefully, you know, we can stick with that, and they can sort of help in a more attacking manner for the rest of the season.
Just dipping into your tweets and posts. Jake, JP, Fabio and friend fullbacks from now till May, please. Barragan, well, comments not very positive. Looks like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll not even go there. We'll just stick with the first line on that one, mate. Tell you. Interesting point somebody said to me, came up to me afterwards and said, Negredo, man of the match, worked his socks off. I mean, we see that most games, don't we? He's back helping out corner situations, he's back there. But how much of an impact is all the work he's doing, lone man up front, back helping out defending as well, dropping deep to pick up balls as a bit of a relief? How much is that taken out of him being a striker?
It's taken loads out of him because when he's back defending, Traore is down the pitch and there's no one in the box for him to get the head in or put it in the back of the net.
Would you like to see him doing less work defensively and as a relief valve and focus more on staying up?
I love the work he's doing, and his work rate is immense. What I would like to see is when he gets the ball, when he holds the ball up, or when he's knocking the ball down, that we've got our midfielders to fall onto it. There's been a couple of occasions this season where our midfielders have been 5 yards or more, slightly advanced, and he's set up goals. I mean, he nodded one down for Downing against Swansea, Leadbitter at Man United. When Daroon came, was in a more advanced position against Swansea again, you know, Ramirez found him, we scored from that. The problem is that there's too far a gap, and I'd like to see them. The midfield close up. Still, Negredo still needs to do his defensive duties because he's fantastic in the air. You know, he's a great asset. But I just want to see the midfield come a bit closer to him.
Okay, let's just start wrapping Leicester up then. A couple of more tweets and posts, Mark. Shalika, what have I just watched? One shot on target at home. Leadbitter for Forshaw. What's AK thinking? Not good enough, we need to wake up. Beryl, one shot on target, pointless substitutions. Steve Fryer agrees. Thinks some people forget who our last six matches are against. We need a far bigger gap with the bottom three with 6 matches to go. Anne-Marie, just hope Swansea and Hull don't improve or we're in serious trouble. They're not going to improve. Let's catch up with the match itself. Here's Joe Nicholson's take on what happened at the Riverside.
Outside the Riverside following Boro's goalless draw against Leicester, far from the greatest game and very few goal-scoring opportunities. Boro threw a lot of the ball after the break, but were unable to make that possession count. Only had one shot on target in the entire game. Adama Traore looked the most likely source to goal. He made a couple of good runs in that first half, but once again his final product really let him down when he got into that attacking third, and both sides really lacked that quality in the final third as the defences dominated. It was quite congested, quite compact in the midfield in that first half. Boro got forward in the second half, a couple of good crosses from George Friend, who replaced Antonio Barragan in the first half, but they were unable to get enough bodies in the box to really make one of those crosses count, and Leicester were able to hang on as the game finished goalless.
And we mentioned Mark earlier. He's been out and about with the Red Army camera. Here are your fan rants after Leicester.
So-so. It was so-so.
Terrible, to be honest. Like, they didn't have a clue what they were doing. There was no tactics. Were terrible. The formations was all wrong. Just bad all round, to be honest. Lucky you get away from 0-0.
Unlucky to not come away with the 3 points. We just needed to create some more chances, I think. Bit around the box, around the edges of the box, we weren't really creating enough.
We need somebody who can score goals, that's the main thing.
We do.
The defence was fine. And you know, Leicester, the champions, they won on Saturday 1-0. Probably had the tails up and thought they could maybe do it here, even though we drew 2-0 down there, 2 each down there. Anyway, on the whole, it's an extra point. If we'd have beaten them today, we'd have jumped above them, but
Exactly.
c'est la vie, innit?
A reasonable game, really, considering. I think we needed a little bit more in the attack. Other than that, the boys have come together.
So 0-0 it was against Leicester City. Manchester United came before that. Thick and fast they come at the festive period. Decent performance, John, at Old Trafford. Just a pity we couldn't hang on there in the end and fell to a 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, being honest, you know, we didn't deserve anything from the game because Man United should have been out of sight in the first half.
They battered us, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, yeah, and they had what was a good goal in my eyes ruled out.
Sorry, mate, I've got to disagree being a ref.
Okay.
Studs up, boots out there, you know, caught him afterwards. Doesn't matter at what point, whether he touched the ball, that doesn't then stop the challenge. Went through and caught him. But anyway, we can chat that one over a beer.
Yeah, no problem. Yes, I mean, we took the lead. Great. Again, like I said, Negredo, a fantastic cushioned header. A good finish by Ledbetter. And as the clock's running down and they're becoming more and more advanced and they're bringing on the subs to try and get the goals that would equalise and obviously eventually win the game, you're just hoping that, you know, we can hang on, even though you knew it was backs to the wall. It wasn't to be. Disappointing, but proud of our display.
How about you, Luke? Where did it leave you?
Let me happy actually, because we actually gave it a go a little bit at the beginning, but we felt we were tired at the end. But I thought when we brought Ramirez on, it made an impact. Because he created, as soon as he come on, we scored. But yeah, I thought the battered us though, and Valdez was man of the match for me that game.
Oh, he pulled out again. Decent number of saves, didn't he? But is it a game you think we should have won? I've had a lot of people say to me, it's a game we should have won.
I feel like we didn't deserve to lose, but we didn't deserve to win at the same time. Like, it's one of them.
I think what the meaning is, we'd taken the lead and there was a short amount of time to go.
Yeah, it's a game we could have won after taking the lead. I wouldn't say it was a game we should have won, but then again, each to their own.
You touched on the subs there. Jose Mourinho, you know, he's a goal down, he's at home, time's running out. We see him suddenly go up, 4 at the back, no thank you, defender off, Rashford on, 3 at the back. We're really going to change things now. We have seen Aitor make his changes. I mean, he stuck Fabio on to try and shore up the defence and let's hold what we had. So he does make changes. A lot of people do criticise him. But across the season, not to the extent that we saw Jose. I mean, he changed his formation dramatically to try and get the goals against the Boro. Do you think Aitor can learn from that? Is it something he might look at and think, yeah, okay, there's my mate. There's my master, if you like, master pupil student thing that everybody was talking about. Can he take positives out of it?
Well, I think if we'd have had the tools at our disposal, like Mourinho had, then we could possibly do that. But unfortunately, we don't have that on our bench. I'd love to have Marcus Rashford come on for us, you know.
Well, okay, let's go back to the Leicester game. You know, 0-0, second half, we're putting a decent shift in, but it's just not happening. You know, could he have gone 3 at the back and stuck another striker up front, played 2 strikers straight up?
Yeah, he could have done, you know. He's probably not a risk taker. He brought Stuart Downing on, took Traore off. Now, I don't think that was a good substitution, because I didn't think Downing offered us anything different. He was playing behind George for most of the time. I can see where you're coming from, Dave. But we just haven't got the personnel, I don't think. You know, we haven't got the quality to unlock experienced Premier League teams.
Going back to the point you said earlier, we're 7 years behind quite a lot of them. You know, and are you hoping that in a handful of years' time, when we've had a chance to stay in the Premier League and grow and develop, then we might be in that position?
Well, yeah, hopefully that's what I think we've got to do. You know, we've got to just stay up this season, by hook or by crook. Just stay up this season, and then slowly progress. We can't take giant leaps, because we won't be able to get the quality of player to come to Middlesbrough at this current time, unfortunately. We need to be a more established club. We need to be more of a draw, an attraction to the top players. And to do that, you know, we've got to be an established club. So that means staying up 2 or 3 seasons. Sounds easy, but it's not. It's going to be a hard season.
Yeah. Just getting back to a couple of your tweets on the United game, and I think it's like you touched on, Luke, saying, you know, decent performance, you know, gave you a bit of pride. That's what seems to be coming out on social media. Stuart Whittingham, proud of my team, that's it. And an awful lot of people, as you can see in the caption, agreeing there. Lewis Gleeson, Idor showed today why we should calm down and get back to believing that he is the man for the job, because he is. However, I don't care who your mate is. When Mourinho won't give you the ball back, and you go and get it for your team. That was when Mourinho nicked the ball and tried to waste a bit of time. So yeah, obviously decent performances going to places like Old Trafford does bring a bit of pride back, doesn't it? It's high time we took a break. We'll be back to chew the cud over transfer deadline days, and well, actually, forget deadline, transfer windows opening, and the bit of business that's happening and could happen. But first up, Joe's back. Here he is with the Red Army news.
We start Red Army news by confirming Boro's first signing of the January transfer window. 28-year-old Rudy Gestede has completed a 3.5-year deal from the Championship side Aston Villa. The fee for the striker is believed to be around £6 million. Gestede scored 10 goals in 55 appearances for Villa. Staying with the transfer window, goalkeeper Thomas Mejías is expected to leave the club on loan. The 27-year-old has been training with the Spanish second division side Real Vallecano, and the move is likely to be completed within the next few days. Belgian midfielder Julian Dessart also looks set to leave the Riverside after agreeing to join Steve McLaren's Derby on loan. Finally, tickets for Boro's trip to Watford on January the 14th are now completely sold out. There is a waiting list at the club's ticket office for those wishing to buy any possible returns. If you have any news and want to get in touch with us, you can email us here at studio@redarmy.tv or on social media. We are at Boro Red Army.
Thanks for that, Joe. Transfers, guys. We've been in the marketplace again. Idor likes an early deal, doesn't he? We did it in the summer. He got his business out of the way pretty quickly. And £6 million or thereabouts, we're led to believe, to Aston Villa for Rudy Gestede. What do you make of the signing, Luke?
I was a bit unsure at first, but if we keep whipping balls in like we did against Leicester, I think he'll thrive off them.
Yeah, I picked up on social media, it was something like 40 crosses we stuck into the Leicester box. None of them converted, unfortunately, but 6'4", that's what Gestede is. He has scored goals before. Could he be the man that's going to start opening the tap a bit?
Hopefully, yeah. Like everyone was unsure about him, but everyone's unsure about Fabio too, and he's turned out to be a great signing.
How's he going to fit in, John?
Good question. I mean, let's just go back to back to his sort of stature. He's 6'4", he's a big guy, and we saw last year at the Riverside, he's not afraid to use his physicality to barge people out the way when he equalised Blackburn late on. How he's going to be used is, in my opinion, I think he may be coming on in place of Negredo. So I can't see him personally starting many games, but he may come on when Negredo is looking a bit tired in games. I might be wrong.
Well,
he might play too.
You're not alone, because that was the subject matter of the poll this week. We stuck up the question, Gestede deal done, but we don't normally do two forwards. So where will he play? The options were on the bench, like Rhodes, in place of Negredo, out wide, or Karanka will change it and he'll stick two up front. 80% of Boro fans reckon exactly the same as you, John. He's going to be on the bench, a bit like Rhodes has been. So maybe he is the option when we need a change up front. I'd like to see him just play up front, of course, alongside and give us two strikers, but pigs will fly. Talking of him, we mentioned Rhodes. They both played at Blackburn together, and they both played alongside each other. And it was when Jordan Rhodes was scoring goals, because he could feed off Gestede. But Gestede almost forgotten about as the architect of most of the goals in that partnership. He scored a fair chunk, didn't he?
Yeah, I think the most prolific season that they had together, Gestede actually got more than Rhodes. He scored more goals than Rhodes. And obviously, the both will have been assisting each other, you know. So you never know, you might see them both play together.
At Boro?
At Boro. You could see it Sunday, you just don't know. Aitor sometimes throws in these curveballs, and he does things that you don't expect. I don't expect it, don't get me wrong, but you never know, you might see them play together.
Would you like to see it? Chef Wade?
I'd like to see it.
Rhodes and Gestede up front?
I'd like to see that, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think 3-5-2 will be better for us. That's how I'd like to see us play.
3-5-2. Sounds a bit like Man United then against us at the end.
That's how I'd like to see us play.
Who's going to be the three at the back?
Probably Chambers, Gibson and Espinosa.
Yeah, he had a decent game, didn't he, Espinosa?
He had a great debut.
He had a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It's disappointing not to see him against Leicester, but there you go.
Yeah. League debut, sorry.
League debut. The Villa fans, we managed to find it just to give Boro fans a bit of an idea, because you've got to come up with your chants and your songs, haven't you? This is what the Villa fans used to sing for Gestede.
'Cause up front for Villa, we've got Rudy Gestede with his big crazy hair. He is class in the air. He leaps like a salmon. Jump with him if you dare.
Nice. But that took a long time to make up. Let's have a look at other moves then. Mejias has gone to Rayo Vallecano. John, no surprise that he's on his way out to get some match action on loan?
Well, actually, I was a bit surprised because there was talk of Guzan going back to the MLS, you know, so obviously that's not going to happen now because I can't see Karanka letting two keepers go.
Because we'll be down to two, basically.
Because we'll be down to two, yeah. So I'm assuming that the MLS move for Guzan is probably shelved. So that was a bit out of the blue for me. Because like if any keeper was going to move on, I did expect Guzan.
Picking up also on Joe's news, Dale Fry's returning. He's coming back to the Boro. Suggestions, Ayala could be on his way out?
Yeah, I think that's how it could be. It's one of the centre-backs, either Ben Gibson or Ayala. But I think Ayala's going. Yeah,
we're hearing, is it one of the rumours Everton's lining up a big bid for Ben Gibson, and it would have to be a big one to take him, more the merrier please. But would you be disappointed to see Ayala go to Galatasaray like's been mentioned?
I think we've
not got to Galatasaray being the disappointment, leaving the club being the disappointment.
Well, I think we have cover. Ayala, great player, fantastic for us. You know, the partnership he had with Ben Gibson, I think everybody knows the stats that they very rarely lost a game when they played together. But Chambers has come in, and the partnership that he has with Ben Gibson is as strong as the one Gibson had with Ayala. We've got Espinosa waiting in the wings. Obviously, there's Barragan, George Friend, now Dale Fry, who could be used in the central positions. So, if he goes, wish him all the best. Hope we get a good fee. And just remember him for being a great player for the Boro.
Yeah, player of the year as well, and a nice guy too. Been linked with the likes of Sigurdsson, Delafeu and Boyan. Be nice to see any of those come in, but well, we'll settle for all three, please, Mr. Gibson. It's just about it, fellas. Before we move on to Sheffield Wednesday, which we've touched on a little bit, here's the moment. Sasha and Ella Mayer singing in the back of the car. Two good Boro fans.
I took my car. Come on, Boro. I took my car. Come on, Boro.
Nice. Right, to Sheffield Wednesday. Quick mention on Sheff Wed. Is it a good distraction from the battle to stay in the Premier League, Luke, or could we do without the FA Cup this year?
I think we could do without it this year. Like I think the concentration is on staying up this year, because we don't want to pick no injuries on the main players. So if we get knocked out, it's concentrating the league.
John, where do you sit on that one?
I love the FA Cup.
So do I. But...
So I would like to see us put a decent team out Sunday, win the game, get a good draw, because it's only when you come to the 5th round stage that games have to be postponed and it causes a bit of a backlog. But let's get through Sunday, get a decent draw in the 4th round, and then let's go on from there.
Rhodes and Gestede a pair each, yeah?
That would be all right, wouldn't it?
Give him a bit of a...
that would be good.
Bit of a head scratcher for the boss, wouldn't it, if that happened? What's your prediction? What are you going for?
2-0, Middlesbrough.
2-0 Boro?
I think we'll win, but I think we'll win 2-1. I think Adam Reach will score for them.
Adam Reach, now there's a name. Yes, one that got away. Of course, I'm going to go for a Boro victory. I will go for a Jordan Rhodes goal or something like that. And we'll do a 3-0. Hey, heart on the sleeve and all that. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good to see you in here. Like to see you again. Thank you for your time too. Here's fingers crossed to a decent FA Cup victory and a decent draw again at home. See ya.
Come on, boy, we can beat these Saturday.
Come on, lads, believe. Come on.